Okay, Mary Agnes. Well, tell us a little bit about your history with balance and your fall history.
My fall history is rather serious in that I've been falling since about 2001 after I had been in a pretty serious injury that was a fall and slipping on ice, so that's kind of a rational way of falling. But some of the other falls I've had are not so rational. I've fallen in the airport, pulling my luggage, pushing my luggage down the area to go to my plane, and someone darts in front of me and I lose it and I just fall crashing to the side, and 3 men had to come and pick me up because it knocked the breath out of me. And then another time I was picking up newspapers on my neighbor's driveway and I hit a little marble pebble and my foot slipped and I actually fell face down like this. I caught myself with this hand, and with this, I smashed my nose, I smashed my, it was incredible. I was kind of in shock. It was that bad of a fall. And then there are others, about 3 a year, as you know, Ben.
Yeah.
And then in November, I was walking on our sidewalk in our neighborhood. The sidewalk wasn't really wet. It was damp outside, but it wasn't wet. I came to a place where the sidewalk raised a little, and my toe hit it in a way that I lost my balance. And so I fell to my knees and my hands, didn't fall all the way face down. And I'm sitting there trying to get myself back together, and finally I just rolled over on my back thinking, this is ridiculous. The neighbor drives by, of course.
Yeah.
It was pretty cute. And he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, yes. And he said, "Are you really?" And then he's getting out of the car to come help me, and so I made a point to get up then. So I've had many falls, and my balance has actually been, I think, negatively affected because of head injuries that I've had. So physical injuries and head injuries combined have not been good for me. Because of 3 falls a year, I began the working with you in November.
Yeah, and so we've seen you kind of off and on since these falls have begun, kind of for orthopedic reasons.
Right.
Treating the pain caused by the fall.
Right.
But now we've started kind of treating the falls themselves.
Right. To improve my gait, to improve my balance per my internist requests.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually am quite shocked. I didn't understand certain things about my situation that caused problems. For instance, I wasn't raising my left foot properly as I walked, and therefore the toe didn't come off the ground, and that caused me to have problems. My left hip, my entire left side hit the ground in 2001 when I fell on ice. So my left hip, there were problems there with lifting my leg as well. Not anything major that anybody would notice except you. And right now there are a couple of other things, but those 2 things where it's like amazing that I wasn't aware of that. Started working with you, you assessed my gait and balance in November, and then I began coming for you to put me through my paces. I wasn't so hot for about 5 or 6 weeks.
In the beginning, there's a lot of changes.
Huge.
They're subtle changes, but they were
huge
changes that you had to get used to. Yeah,
that's right. And so finally, on the last day I saw you in the end of December, it was incredible. I was finally able to do the things that I hadn't even been able to do the previous times that I saw you in that 6-week period. So I'm appalled, pleased, grateful that I have improved. I think people with head injuries, with physical injuries, probably even other people who have issues like Parkinson's and MS with balance, etc., I think this could be a phenomenal asset for a lot of people.
Yeah. And so what we know about balance is really that it's really made up of 3 components. Your contact with the ground, and so we see people with diabetic neuropathy, different neuropathies, because they don't feel the ground well, and that of course impairs balance. Vision plays a big role in it, and that's why, and we'll see here in a minute, that we do a lot of exercises with your eyes closed because we want to take away that vision so you rely on your other systems for balance. And then the last is your neurological and vestibular system. and we'll kind of go through how we retrain that, recalibrate that, and then and how that all plays together for your balance.
Great.
Okay, so we'll get you over into the rails next.
I forgot about the vision thing.
Yep.
That wasn't my favorite part, but necessary.
Necessary, absolutely. All right. Well, let's get you in the rails.
Great.
Okay, so the first thing that we do with our balance patients is we get them in this harness. This is called a solo step, and it's an overhead support harness. And as Mary Agnes can attest to, it gives you a lot of confidence that you're not going to fall because she's attached to the ceiling. So she cannot fall in this harness, and so we can try some different things that may make her a little uncomfortable.
And in the beginning, I had no confidence in being able to stand up, and I just knew I was going to fall. I had to gain the confidence with this that I'm okay. I can fall and I'm not going to hit the floor and hurt myself. So it's a good beginning.
Yep. So let's have you just kind of walk in the rails a little bit and just kind of show how they hold you up. And so one of the things that we noticed with her when she started walking is that her base of support was very narrow, that this one foot comes in front of the other. So we tried to widen that out and make sure that she got good clearance of her toes, because most of her falls came from tripping.
Hitting the ground with my nose.
And then from there we kind of get into some different patterns of walking. So we'll have you go sideways. So get the speed up here.
Instead of dragging it, you mean?
Okay, and then we'll do some high knees.
Oh, good. This one's okay.
And then, like we said earlier, that she did a lot of tripping. So we work with her on doing things like stepping over some obstacles. So we just have you step over here.
Looking or not looking?
So looking forward.
Okay.
Good. Okay. And next, we'll do some change of direction. So her being able to look forward and step forwards, to the side, and backwards is all important.
I'm not picking my left foot up right. I can tell it.
And she gets a lot of feedback from this as well.
What am I not doing? Is my left?
Just your left's not getting up as high as your right. Yeah.
So I'm not perfect.
There you go. Okay, good there. Okay. Next, we're going to work on that vestibular system a little bit. So we're going to have her, this is just like a memory foam pad, but so now we're altering the surface she's standing on. So she's not getting that kind of kinematic sense from the ground that she's stable. So this automatically kind of makes you feel a little unstable.
Yep, just a touch.
So we let her find her balance, and then I'm going to have you close your eyes. And she'll sway a little bit with this, but that's normal. In the beginning, you sway a whole lot, but as she's gotten better. And then from here, we're actually going to do some head position. So I'm going to have her tilt her head like she's looking at the ceiling.
Eyes closed or eyes open?
Let's do eyes open first, and then we'll go to eyes closed. So she's going to do about 5 seconds in each direction. Up, down. and to the right and left here. So look right and look left.
And in the beginning, I couldn't do this.
And then ear to your shoulder. Good. Okay, now we're going to do it with your eyes closed.
Bouncy, bouncy.
Good, and right and left. Good. Okay. And you can step off there. Okay. All right, and then the other things we can work on in here, the possibilities are kind of endless. If it's stairs that they have trouble with or walking up a step, walking up a ramp, we kind of create those situations, or even just standing on one foot. She has the confidence that she's not going to fall, so she can really challenge herself.
Yeah. My left leg's still not the strongest leg I own.
Okay, all right. And so that's kind of our balance program. We kind of progress things as the patient progresses, and we may look at some other things with vision and things like that, but that's kind of the hallmark of our balance program.